Big old bird, aren't they, for this country? Hello, welcome to this week's vlog, and that wet stuff is falling from the sky. I'm cornered because my coat and my wellies are in that direction. So we're just going to see if it stops. Forecast a bit of a thunderstorm today. We're getting all the animals ready for the weekend openings. It was warm and sunny just a minute ago. Got quite a bit to do now. Next week and the week after, my schools are slowing down. And that means I've got more time to do more other stuff here. Dennis is going to crack on with those outdoor enclosures. I'm going to help him landscape them inside and so on and so forth. I think Dennis is actually going to do most of it. He's really keen, and I'm really pleased that he's helping as much as he is. The outside the frog tadpole and toad tadpole enclosures, those little guys are turning into froglets and toadlets. So I've given them something to climb out on, but I need to remove those, get them back at home around my pond and around my pond here at the centre. Because they will drown. They now don't have gills, they have lungs, and they can't tread water forever, and they actually drown. So they need to get out and get away. But yeah, hopefully this will stop and we'll crack on, and I'll see you in a minute. Another guy back on the team, the spectacled owl. So he's he's been having a few months rest while he molts out. He's already molted now, looking lovely. He fades a lot in the sunshine. He goes quite sort of brown. He's got that lovely chocolate brown look again now. He goes quite pale. Lovely owl. You can see what they call the spectacled owl. And some people here love him and some people here hate him. But I can tell you now, our guests love him, because when this guy's flying free through the woods, very strange, he doesn't even like me, but very strange bird of prey that, just like a pet parrot, comes to the front to have his head scratched. Look at that. Look at that. It's quite nervous to me because I don't actually work with him, but even me, he says, come on, scratch my head. We always say as bird of prey owners and falconers, our birds don't like fuss and attention, and it's not good for them to be stroked and petted. But just a few, and it's usually a hand-reared owl, genuinely like that. Oh, nice try. Genuinely like that sort of attention. I think he was being like an anglerfish then. He was lulling me over to give him some love so he could grab hold of my fingers. You cheeky boy. But a beautiful bird. Spectacled owl, very unusual owl, a very rapacious rainforest owl, so incredibly large beak and incredibly large feet for the size of the owl. You are a cheeky monkey. Very capable hunter. But he is as daft as a brush. Yes, you know who. Specs a spectacled owl. It took ages to think of that now. So start of the weekend. Here's Jackie, she's just weighing Sky.
146.
146. And Jackie is a nurse, and she's actually on shift today, and she won't finish till gone 10 o'clock tonight. But apart from doing all the admin, all the weekends and so on and so forth, she also is a high-level nurse and has that sort of stress and that kind of work as well. And it's often the way with anyone that works in animal sort of businesses or runs them or owns them is that, you know, you have to do other things as well, not just your life. So she's going to be here until late morning, setting up for the weekend with me. She's already got ahead of me. She's here in her own car, of course. Little Tortoises are out having a scoff. And then she's going to go and do a full shift, looking after people. Look at those guys. They kissing or fighting over the carrot. So these three small ones, they're in here today because we've moved the tortoise paddock to a much larger paddock. Now the sulcatas are getting big, or getting bigger, because sulcatas are grazers and they all live happily together. But what the problem I've got is now the small Mediterranean ones can get under this fence because we cut the bottom off of there to help us trim. So they're going to have an enclosure with a fence blocked off in this area around here. So 2 more weeks of schools and then I can crack on and do a bit more of that kind of work. But for sure, the weekend openings at the Falconry Centre, birds of prey, people love our tortoises, and so do we. So that rainstorm has certainly been lovely for these snakes. He's just shed his skin, this guy. Out in the outdoor enclosure, Vietnamese blue beauty snakes. Look at that, that's a treat for people to see, isn't it? Still got to top their bath up though. Not had a lot of rain, but even now in the shade, 21 degrees. Smooth snakes are doing well. They usually come out in the evening once the sun's gone down. A bit of rain today. There's one lurking under there, but very difficult to see. And you know I go on about it, but first year, it still amazes me how you can have wildlife, bee, insect, butterfly friendly area that much, that thriving in the first year of planting. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. And there's going to be a lot more of this sort of thing to come here at Icarus Falconry. Now the pair of pheasants that you've seen on the vlog before that live in the orchard, they're completely immune to us being around now. That's what you call camouflage. We're 2 feet away, bless her up. How cute's that? And Jackie's just seen, just having a walk around before the customers come in, the first marbled white butterfly that we've seen here in the Falconry Centre. It's a new species for the Falconry Centre. And we've got the grassland for some of these browns, caterpillars. The marbled white isn't a white, it's a brown. We've got nettles for some of those venesid butterflies like the tortoise shells or peacocks, red admiral type butterflies. And we've got a Of course, those things I've just mentioned are for the caterpillars, and there's the nectary for them to drink out of. So marbled white, new species here. So here's the frogs that are changing and metamorphosing. Catching those up this week, Monday, so they're gonna have to lurk around in there for another day. And they'll go around the ponds here and at home, as mentioned. And in here, still plenty of toad tadpoles. And today's talk is actually going to be about British reptiles and amphibians here at the centre at the weekend, and that's going to be the 2 o'clock talk. Look at that, amazing stuff. And this one, apart from a couple of toad tadpoles, we've also got several great crested newt larvae that are fished out of the breeding tank. Lots of Daphnia, mosquito larvae and bloodworms naturally occurring. That's one great thing about these outdoor enclosures. Lots of natural aquatic life to feed your amphibians, but of course you've got to watch out for great diving beetles and dragonfly larvae that'll actually eat the inhabitants. And of course, on the theme of outdoor enclosures, the African mud turtle, he's loving life out in the real sunshine. Look at that guy in a pond. And over here, the nap turtle. These guys also perfectly fine outdoor through the summer period. Ultraviolet light, loads of space, and to keep turtles in a tank, if you've ever kept them outdoors in a pond, honestly, you'll never want to put them in a tank again. Just so much more suitable. Oh,
how cute it is.
that is so cute.
Oh God, is he?
Hello.
Oh, isn't he really like, what's it, trusted?
Not trusting, I think he's thinking like, you can't see me. Oh. Jackie's new chairs and table are getting used already. Little spotted flycatcher, he's been nesting the walls in the Falconry Centre. One of them's jumped ship and fledged. Being well fed by his parents, but my goodness me. Would you not want to be that little cute thing surrounded by a world of buzzards, jackdaws, crows, guys, and squirrels and stoats? My God, how do they even survive? So she's not here this morning, but now I know why she was sitting tight. Notoriously rubbish at looking after the children. Why shouldn't she here this morning? That's a lot of eggs. So it's not just about feeding the nectar drinkers, it's about providing food plants for many of them and many of their young. Always great to see a caterpillar, especially when you're half blind like I seem to be these days. Look at that. So something's eating the plants, and soon the knapweeds are going to be in flower, and they're going to feed all kinds of butterflies and moths and other insects. Like this hedge woundwort that sort of self-set this morning. It's cold, 17 degrees, hoverflies and bumblebees, as well of course as the woundwort bug that feeds on the actual sap of these plants that I showed you before. One species of herb providing a lot of habitat. Hello. Micro ferrets. They're cute, aren't they?
Pick it up there, feel how small it is.
Hold it. Hold on. I think she's eating the cherries. The He's definitely eating something that's fallen off the tree. Look at that. Yeah, look. Oh, a bit of grass. What the heck is she eating? Not that. Even the most commonest things are so beautiful, aren't they, if you actually look at them. Talking of which, let's just have a quick catch up on Zeus's talon. Been a week or so. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, it's not going to do anything to it, Zeus. It's definitely looking better. He's gorgeous, isn't he? Well pleased with that. Looking good indeed. Look at Bentley sunbathing. Just had a hell of a downpour. Look at that, lapping up the rays like any self-respecting vulture would. Hooded vulture, she's, I don't know, getting on for 20 now. Sadly a bird that was common in the wild when she came here to Icarus Falconry, and in her career flying here and her conservation-minded career, this bird is now critically endangered in the wild. Of course, Bentley's captive bred, but at the end of the day, it's thought that a lot of these African vultures for sure are going to go extinct in the next 50 to 70 years. Extinct in the wild. Let's hope we've got a DNA gene pool in captivity. If we can ever right the wrongs, look at her dozing off, we can ever right the wrongs that we've done to them in the wild. Relaxing hooded vulture. So why are those vultures in Africa, to name but one part of the world, struggling so much? Well, it's because, or various reasons, but one big reason is the rhino horn and elephant tusk injury. So if you're a poacher, you are really not happy about a whole kettle or a swarm or a flock, but a kettle of vultures on a thermal with other birds of prey like certain eagles and kites above you while you do your business, while you butcher that animal you've poached and killed just for its horns and tusks. Because game wardens can see you with the poacher or your possible presence and location miles away, because a swarming kettle of vultures swarming in the sky above on a thermal, waiting for you to leave so they can eat your butchered carcass, are telling the game wardens something's going on over here. So they now lace the carcasses. Once they've taken off the horn, they lace the carcasses with poison, which then poisons all the vultures that then feed on that carcass. They're not only driving animals like rhino to extinction, these guys are one of the big factors driving vultures to extinction too. How sad is that? What have we become, the human race? There was a guy over here recently, he was a game warden, he was on holiday in the UK. Excuse me, food pots. And he said to me, you're not going to believe this, Dave. He said, what do you think one of the biggest driving forces is in the killing of vultures in my area? I said, I don't know, the poaching. And he said, yeah, that's massive. He said, but you're not going to believe this. We had a national, in our part of Africa, a national lottery came in. And he said it's led to the slaughter of vultures, because one of the black magic of vultures is if you take in a herbal remedy or you eat the dried brains and skull and head of vultures, you will get their superpower of being able to see the future. People believe vultures can see the future, and they genuinely believe if you eat the vulture's brain, you will get that power of seeing the future. Now that's going to be pretty handy if you're really poor and desperate and the national lottery's just turned up in your area. The foresight of picking those numbers. How sad is that? Ridiculous. Another sad thing he was telling me, he said he's part of Africa. The poaching gangs in his, do you know what, it's been a long weekend. The poaching gangs in his area, they're paid per tusks, per job. Two rhino horns a pair. That's what they get paid for. So the wardens, like a lot of Africa, they're busy darting the rhino, chopping off their horns. See, we've now got wild animals missing their most iconic thing. The goodies are chopping off the rhino horns so the baddies don't kill the rhino to take the horns away. And of course they can't chop it right down into the flesh because it's a living animal. They leave a little half-inch stub on there. But now he's been infiltrated by gangs from much further afield in Africa who are paid by the ounce. And he said, Dave, that rhino horn makes the cost of gold and cocaine seem insignificant. And because they're being paid by the ounce, they're slaughtering the rhino for their last little half-inch stubs of horns because it's still got value to them. How can you battle against that? What a terrible shame it is. What are we like as a human race? And of course, it's not fueled by those poor people poaching, risking their lives to poach. It's fueled mostly by very wealthy Chinese people, but certainly that is the area of the world that's fueling this magic medicine of animal parts. I don't know if it's on, I honestly don't know if it's on Netflix or Amazon, but look up the seahorse man. That's why you don't see seahorses in the sea anymore. Just have a look at that. What's going on? Why are we destroying wildlife just for herbal remedies? It's very sad indeed. Very sad indeed. Hi you guys, just thought I'd show you the most magnificent creature in this room. A big male yellowtail creeper, all of 8 feet long, absolutely stunning. See if we can stretch him out. Yellowtail creeper, 8 feet long. Stunning. Let's go and see Pam, see what she's up to. She's very camera shy. Let's go and have a look. Now, one thing I do want to do is a bit of a spotlight on some of the staff and volunteers here at Icarus Falconry, like my halo, because everyone on this team goes above and beyond for the love of it. We're blessed, really. We're blessed by top team of falconers running those experience days in the week to make you the happiest person on the planet, or your loved one on one of our experience days. Knowledgeable, gifted falconers that also have the ability to talk to people, and that's what we pride ourselves on here at Icarus. We can all talk to you as a personal individual. You're not a number, you're not in the crowd. You've got the team of volunteers that back up those staff on those experience days. Then you've got the volunteers here at the weekend helping Jackie and I. You've got the gardening trio. You've got Dennis building my reptile enclosures. All these guys just doing it all for the love of it. So I think we'll spotlight some of them, and I'll sneak up on them as the vlogs go on and just introduce you and show you some of the stuff they get up to.
You're going to be on the team.
Pam. So Sky's been blocked and tethered and retrained, if you like, back up in the sky for Sky. She's had a load of food there, and she's back on it. She's back on it, and she's that much back on it and chilled out and doing a job that today I've untethered her and enabled her to be free lofted again, where she can move around a little bit more, move around in there, and we can still bring her out and tether her in the day as well. Interesting to see. She's been sitting feeding on another perch, but she's been on that block now for a couple of weeks, and she's settled back down for the night on her block, bless her. Hopefully she'll chill out in there and be easy enough to work with, despite the wire mesh. Works for some, doesn't work for all. Wait and see. Beautiful bird. Alana hybridised with a red-naped Shaheen. We're heading home now. It's been a long weekend, but it's been a good weekend. Rain and showers. I hope you've loved the vlog as much as I enjoy making them and bringing it to you, as well as the other videos. Interesting to watch that subscriber count go up and down and the views. I've got quite a few of you guys that like the reptiles now. not all of you like the spiders, and so on and so forth. It's all going to change, it's all going to morph, and it'll all come around again. I'll see you in the next one though.